Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, I have a special guest in studio. I'm going to throw it on the FM. If you're tuning in right now on social media or you are going back and listening on a podcasting platform, share this out one way or another. I appreciate you taking the time. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy, and I have a special guest. I'm going to let her introduce herself and then share which hat she has on today. Good morning.
Hi, I'm Susan Leaning, and today's hat is the coordinator for Chelseys 5K, and it benefits Snowdrop Foundation, which benefits pediatric cancer survivors in the form of scholarships, and it also benefits pediatric cancer patients in the form of research money to a doctor at Texas Children's, as well as some other programs. It funds such as the Campbell Family Easter Egg Hunt, which is a tradition that Chelsea herself started when she was inpatient.
Okay, so let's learn a little bit about Chelsea, and we talked about this off the air. But if this is the 13th annual Chelsea's 5K Run for Kids. So if somebody hasn't heard of the 5K or Chelsea's 5K Run, who is Chelsea?
Chelsea was a student from Santa Fe High School. She was actually one of my ninth graders, and she was in a class with three of her besties, and so there was not a lot of not talking time in that class. They've since apologized, so
Yeah,
they're all grown women now, and so it's kind of neat that they're still friends. And when she was a sophomore, this is the kid that never missed school either. Well, she kept getting urinary tract infections, and they weren't sure, and then she missed a few days of school. And then she was diagnosed with cancer, a very rare form of small tumors inside her body.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and she was given not a very good chance of survival, and she said she was going to fight it as long as she could, and she did that. Sadly, it was about a year of rigorous treatment and trying to recover from a 27-hour surgery, and then it was December 2006 that she passed away.
So a 27-hour surgery and operation that took place, was that in Houston somewhere?
It was at Texas Children's Hospital.
At Texas Children's. Okay, that seems like that's a long time. And you mentioned that's one surgeon.
Yes.
27 hours.
He stuck it out the whole time. Pretty awesome doctor. I still see him on the halls with my other hat on.
Yes.
And he's always hello, and I'm sure he doesn't remember who I am, but he remembers I'm a familiar face.
Yes. So what does that do to a family? What does that do to a young person? How did Chelsea react with the diagnosis and then going through that a 27-hour surgery and everything else?
Well, the personality that Chelsea had was that she was going to be a fighter and she was going to beat it. The thing is with cancer, whether it's a child or an adult, the patient isn't the only one affected. And so cancer affects the entire family. Dad's home taking care of the sister, and mom is at the hospital 24/7. And so it's a tough battle. And like I said, it's not just the patient, it's the whole family that's fighting the fight.
Yes. So the Snowdrop Foundation is putting this on. How does that tie in to Chelsea's story?
Well, one of the things that Chelsea said was she always wanted a walk that just benefited kids, because you have all the big cancer organizations, and very little of that money actually goes to pediatric cancer. And she wanted one that 100% was going to go to support pediatric cancer.
So she was dealing with this going on, her own battle. She was dealing with that stuff, and at that time she was thinking about, hey, other kids going through stuff, and
Exactly.
She wanted to do that.
Yep, that's how she rolled. That's why she had the Easter egg hunt. She was decorating eggs in her bed on the tray, to help make a happy time for the kids at the hospital.
Mm-hmm. So she met Mr. Kevin Klein. Can you share a little bit about Kevin and what he has going on?
Yes, so Kevin was doing the radiothon that their station does every year at Texas Children's to raise money, and Chelsea walked up to him and shook his hand and introduced herself, and he thought she was a nice teenage girl volunteering at the hospital, and then he found out that she was actually a teenage girl fighting the fight, and they became just good friends, and he would visit her not almost every day after he got off the air. at 93Q, he would go over to the hospital and visit Chelsea. And that's where I met Kevin and became friends with Kevin. And we helped. The first 5K was a very big ordeal, and we did it at the fairgrounds and had a big dance, and it was a big party. And Chelsea was there for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And after she passed, it's like, we've got to keep this going because this is something that she really wanted. So Snowdrop Foundation is a pretty big deal now.
It is, yeah.
Statistically, let me see. I got those out so I would have it. To date, the program has donated Snowdrop Foundation has donated over $4 million to scholarships for survivors, research grants for a doctor at Texas Children's, awareness, which would be making, a lot of times it's those runs where people are slapped with a Snowdrop logo on their shirt, and then child and teen development. And that would be some programs, the smaller programs at the hospital. So that's a lot of money for 13 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for,
Yes.
A lifetime. It seems,
Right, especially with so many foundations like
Mhm.
that are started for a child. They last 3 to 5 years, and then they're gone. And this is 13 years. And it's 13 solid years because it's not going away. Every year the snowball picks up a few more people.
Yes.
Snowball.
And Snowdrop Foundation, it specifically focuses on pediatric cancer.
Yes.
So what age does that go up to?
Okay, so if you're diagnosed as, I think, under 20, then you're always considered a pediatric cancer patient.
Okay.
In some regards. Like, I know I've been on the floor where there was a 27-year-old. Sometimes I walk in a room and there are 20 and 21-year-olds. And, some organizations don't service those folks.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's nice about the scholarship program. It doesn't matter if they were a pediatric cancer survivor 20 years ago. If they apply for the scholarship and qualify, they can still get that scholarship.
Can you share a little bit about your background? Because you mentioned that you taught Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea was in my English class at Santa Fe High School. And that's when I taught 9th grade English, which was always interesting. But she was a really good student. But as far as my background goes, I know that Chelsea was also involved in the school. She was a cheerleader and just a good friend to her friends.
Yeah. So you brought in this box, and I opened it up, and there's a cookie inside, and it's decorated. Can you share what this is, and I guess why you started doing this?
So I did the cookies. I started doing the cookies to raise money for Alzheimer's, as well as Snowdrop Foundation. When Kevin was running the run in Alaska in November, in the days that he was there, I was able to raise about $1,500 or $1,600 for Snowdrop Foundation.
Wow.
And there will be cookies on the silent auction table at Chelsea's 5K.
Okay.
And those are usually good well bidded items. Last year, people are bidding more than they would have to pay if they bought them from me.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, the 5K, when is it? And I know y'all are looking for some partnerships and some stuff.
Yes, it is Wednesday, May 6th at Santa Fe High School. It starts at Santa Fe High School Stadium.
Okay.
And it walks out takes the little dog leg and out to Cemetery Road and back. We're looking for sponsors that would go on the back. Names would go on the back of the T-shirt if their sponsorship is $100 or more. And, of course, the size of the lettering depends on how much more. And
yes.
And we're also looking for silent auction items. And I was just informed by a friend 2 days ago that we will have a set of tickets to J.J. Watt's charity softball tournament on the bidding table.
That's
And
cool,
I
yeah.
know that'll be popular. I know we'll have some Astros tickets and some Dynamo tickets. And normally we get at least one power tool donated by the same person every year. We have Santa Fe Soap Factory always donates a basket or two. Photography packages from Megan Blaisdell Photography, who is also the event photographer, and she's a volunteer because she's one of my old students. And,
Yes.
yeah, we just do that.
You also do photography.
Yes. I'll be photo boothing tonight at the Santa Fe Education Foundation Gala.
It's 10 years. I'm excited. I'm going to be there.
Yep.
What are you wearing? Because I hear the word gala, and I'm like, okay, do I need to bust out a tuxedo? I don't have one,
No.
so that's an issue. A tuxedo shirt, maybe.
Okay, last year, I'll go by what I saw.
Okay.
You know, some people had on their good jeans with a button down.
Okay.
Some people had on their suit jacket. Some of the ladies got fancy, and some just wore what they came from work in, because it is early. People do go to work.
Yeah, so like 6 o'clock, I think they said 6 to 7
is happy hour.
Yeah, and then 7 o'clock, we're getting the show on the road.
Yes, and so I have a tuxedo T-shirt that I wear.
Is that what you're going to wear?
My tuxedo T-shirt.
T-shirt?
Yes.
Maybe we can match.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That's my fancy photo booth shirt.
Yeah. Okay, how long have you been doing photo booth events?
Probably since retiring, a year after retiring or something.
Yeah. So you have cookies. I know you do photography. You also do some photography with the Dynamo.
Yes.
You volunteer in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you have going on? As if that is not enough. That's a lot.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're gonna keep talking. And you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I also do this XYZ. So right now it is 9:14. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name's Gardy, and I'm talking to Miss Leaning about the Chelseys 5K Run for Kids. And so whenever I first saw the name Run for Kids, I was thinking, oh, this is specifically for children to run. Can you explain who is invited to participate?
Everyone's invited. We also let people with wagons and strollers and dogs come. Just the dogs have to be on a leash, and they have to be well behaved. And if your dog poops, you have to clean up after them.
It's very important.
Yes. We have the same dogs running every year, so it's
okay.
Yeah, and with one of my old students, but it's for all ages. We used to have a team from the College of the Mainland preschool that would come out, and they would load them up in wagons, and the teachers would walk, and their parents would walk. We have a bunch of moms that are out there with the strollers. They're pretty impressed with that. Running the whole time.
Well, you mentioned strollers, and at first I was thinking kids, and then I was reading more information about it, and it was like walk, crawl.
Yes.
Whatever it takes.
We have some hardcore runners that come every year, and it's basically their training run for the night. You know, because, if people do 5Ks on the regular, they usually have one distant or sort of distance. For me, that would have been a distance when I was running. And they come out and they just tear it up. And then we have the people an hour later strolling in. And sometimes they turn around before the half, and that's all good too.
Yeah.
So funny thing about the turnaround, it used to be that corner house used to be owned by a friend. And so she was always like, fine, you can do that. When she sold the house, I messaged her and I said, how dare you? And she said, oh, don't worry, I told them about this. And so I knocked on the door and I told him, and he said, you don't have to come and tell me every year, you can just use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's really kind of nice that when you live in a community that takes care of the community.
Yes. Miss Leaning, I have to ask you, what did you coach? There's a couple comments on here saying, hey, coach.
Soccer.
You coach soccer.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Because now I know you know Coach Brendan Keys.
Yes.
And you also do photography for the Dynamo.
Yes.
Were you a player too, or mainly coach?
I played over 30. I used to play in the schoolyard and stuff because if the boys were playing, I was playing.
Okay.
But we didn't have it in school, and we didn't have clubs. Girls didn't have clubs when I'm 60. I'm 62.
And they didn't have sports for girls back then?
No. I had to sit and watch those boys who weren't as good as me.
Yeah.
On the field, because I played with them on the street corner, and I could beat them.
Yeah.
But I wasn't allowed to play.
Really?
Yeah. So, but my generation was the one that changed that.
Yes. And now there are, I look at, women's soccer, they're the best,
Yes,
USA, they're the best, in the world.
Yep. And
there are some, I'm sure, that could play with the guys.
Oh, they could probably shame many of them. Yeah.
Wow. Those are things that you just don't even realize. Just growing up, it's like, wow, having opportunities that we have now.
Right.
But there's people that came before us that helped pave the way and make change to get to where we are right now.
I want to say Title IX was around 75-ish, and that's the year I graduated from high school. But when I was in high school, it was pretty cool. We played down in a bowl, so people didn't have. Our bleachers were the side of a hill, and one day the boys' team, I don't remember which one it was, comes down there and says, "We need to use your field. Ours is messed up." We all said nope, and we stood strong because just because your field's messed up, you can't come and mess ours up.
Right.
And our we had a battle axe of a coach, and she was like, "No way," and she did talk like that. No way that you're not using our field.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Where did you go to school?
In New York at Port Jefferson High School.
At Port Jefferson High School.
It's actually called Earl L. Vandermeulen.
I can't even remember that.
Yeah. So, but if people ask, it's Port Jeff. I was hung on the Wall of Fame about 2.5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a huge achievement.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Yeah. And what's great is like my 8th grade history teacher, social studies teacher. He's also on there, but he was there taking pictures. He was so proud that one of his old students.
Yeah.
And he remembers all of us. He remembers who we sat with in class, and he remembers my project about the environment, about pollution, and how it will affect our environment.
Yeah. So from New York, you ended up down here in Galveston County, Santa Fe area. What year did you end up coming down here and start teaching?
1980.
And did you immediately start teaching?
Yes, I was in Hitchcock at Northside.
Okay.
To start with. And because the person I met in New York said, "My mom, I can get you a job." And New York wasn't hiring. Teachers were being surplused. And so I was like, okay, I'll go try it. And so it was February of 1980. I came down and checked it out. I wore a T-shirt and shorts for a week. I was like, I like that. I like the people. I like the area. And so I was like, yeah, I'll move down here. And so I loaded up my car in June and moved down.
Since 1980, how has the area, specifically Santa Fe,
oh my gosh,
changed?
It has like blossomed. I had no neighbors when so first I lived in Texas City.
Okay.
And then I met my husband, and 2.5 months later we got married. And
2.5 months?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll celebrate 39 years.
When you know, you know.
Yeah, I think so. 39 years in April. So, and so when I moved to Santa Fe, we had no neighbors close, except his father, and he didn't bother us. So, and now when a car drives by, it's like, who's that? And we're on a dead end, so it's not like we have that many cars. But just I guess we've had the 2 supermarkets, but we didn't have McDonald's.
Yeah.
We didn't have Subway.
So there's been that growth. And the cool thing about it is there is a lot of room, and you can see stuff, still coming in. But, talking to some of the city councilmen and the mayor, it's like a slow growth. Hey, there's some things that we can strategically target, but we like our small town charm. And, we're this way on purpose. People like being in this community for a reason.
Right. Our mayor was a soccer player.
He was?
Yes, he was.
Mayor Jason Tabor?
That's actually how I kind of met him. He was probably 8 or 9, and he was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he good?
He was a hard worker.
Okay, I'll take that.
And that defines his life.
That's code. Is that code for like, he worked hard?
He wasn't like the best player.
Yes.
But I'd rather have a hard worker than the best with an attitude.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to have to agree with you on that.
And if you read like coaches' suggestions for how to pick a team, sometimes they'll say, I'll take 11 hard workers over a superstar because that superstar is going to always want the focus on them.
Yeah.
And I've had that that player, and it's really difficult to maneuver that. But in high school, it's really hard to cut that player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to kind of... They know that. The students sometimes know that.
Right, and then sometimes you get the best player, and she also knows how to rally the other troops to get them to work their hardest because she's always working hard no matter how good she is.
Yeah, I've talked to some people that, are from our area that went on to play, at the collegiate level and then played in the NFL and the NBA, and they share so it's interesting, some of the journeys that they've had. Some of them, like, I was always the top guy. At college, I got there. I felt like I was the top guy, but I had to prove myself.
Yep.
And then, I got to the NFL, and everybody is just as good as me.
Everybody's the top guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you have to be able to be, teachable, coachable, and then also, produce. But
the coachable part is almost the hardest part.
It is.
Especially in high school because you have all those parents who are experts.
Yes.
I didn't have any of those.
I'm a parent and I'm an expert.
Wait, I'm going to tell you, I never had any of those parents. Other coaches told me about those.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Mrs. Leaning, let's bring it back in. We can talk about the 13th annual Chelseys 5K run.
Yep.
And I think one of the things that's important is having businesses, in Santa Fe and Galveston County from anywhere. If they want to help support the Snowdrop Foundation, who can they contact?
They can contact me, and my email is chelseys5kforkids@gmail.com.
So chelseys5kforkids@gmail.com, and they'll get straight to you.
Yes.
And the Snowdrop Foundation, can you give us an explanation? What do they do?
Snowdrop Foundation gives scholarships to cancer survivors. Last year, they gave over $250,000 worth of scholarships alone in last year to kiddos from all over the country. You don't have to be just from Houston in order to apply for that. And that's on their website. And that's snowdropfoundation.org.
And Kevin Klein with 93Q, he started the Snowdrop Foundation.
He and his wife.
Him and his wife
It's a partnership, yes. And she's the executive director kind of person. She's the one that runs the show.
Okay. And he just got back last year. What did he go do? He went and ran?
In November.
He
ran on the Dalton Highway, which is Ice Truckers Highway.
Yes.
And did they run 300 miles?
It was something ridiculous. Like, I can't even fathom.
Right. I don't remember how many. It was a lot of miles.
Yeah.
Over a lot of days. In fact, they're doing a movie. It'll come out in the fall.
Like a documentary
Yes.
of it?
And it'll be, I'll make sure I share that with you. Because
Please,
it'll be
yes.
at a theater in Houston.
I'm down.
And they have a big deal about it. Excuse me. And, he did that with a team. And he also had a video team that went with him that shot it. And they've also shot other Snowdrop events. They were actually at the scholarship luncheon this year to shoot some of that. And they're sitting in the back of the truck with the top open so they could shoot out of the back of the truck. But he also had a medic with him. They had a sniper with him.
A sniper?
Well,
for like animals?
Yes, like polar bears and things like
wow.
that. Yeah. They didn't see any. I think they saw a bunny and
get it
maybe a
anyways.
moose or something. No. And they had to get approval, of course, because that's a very dangerous place to drive.
Yes.
In November. Never mind run and have trucks have to watch out for you. And yes.
Yeah.
But the medic is also a runner, Scott. And one day Kevin just couldn't. Like, he couldn't get warm. And they have to watch out. Part of Scott's job was to say, you can't run.
Yeah.
And because this is not healthy, this could be detrimental. And that was always the thing. Well, you could lose your foot, or you could die.
A possibility,
doing this.
yeah.
Yes, there was always that. That was always out there. Well, and Kevin's like, but we have to get our miles in. And Scott said, I'll do them. And,
wow. He stepped in?
Yeah, and just ran them like a beast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a question. This is from Christopher Beal with Santa Fe Water Services.
He said he'd be listening today.
Yeah, he's here. He said a couple things, but one question right now is he wants to know, is Kevin Klein, is he planning on doing that again?
No. He does all those crazy things once.
Yes.
Because he also did a run, like a 400-mile run across Texas.
Mm-hmm. And then he'll like set a new goal and do something else?
Yeah, we're waiting to find out what the new goal is.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And he also said, hey, Santa Fe Water Services will be contacting you for sponsorship. He said that's a great reason to spend some money and support.
Yes. In fact, the Lions Club provides our turnaround water station. Several years ago, we put the stuff out there, and somebody decided to pick it up before our people got out there. So they just said, we will take care of that. And they just show up out there. We don't have to they also sponsor on top of that. And then Santa Fe Water Services is going to have the water at the stadium. And so it's a way to also incorporate more volunteers, because we'll have the Lions Club out there, and then we'll have Santa Fe Water Services at the stadium.
Okay, so here's another question. This is from Lydia. Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to tune in and ask a question. She said, hey, can we get a link to register? Thank you. Is there a link online to register?
You can go to bit.do/Chelseys 5K 2020.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure
It's on the bottom of that other paper.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure 2020. So I'm gonna read this and make sure that we got it.
It's
and
on the bottom in the marker.
Oh, yes. So I'm gonna put this up to the screen, and I'm gonna say this again. If you're listening on 99.5 FM or you're going back and listening to this on a podcast, it's bit.do/Chelseys 5K 2020, and I typed that out. Bit.do Chelseys 5K 2020 in the comments there. So if you go to that link or you copy and paste what I wrote down in the Facebook comments, you should be able to go and register right there. And this is actually a paper for sponsorship, right?
That's a paper. Unless if you want a paper copy to register,
yes,
you can email me and I can send that to you. And remember, my email is chelseys5kforkids@gmail.com. And some people just like to do the paper and write a check. And I bet Chris would let people drop those registration forms off at Santa Fe Water Services.
Yes, I bet he would too.
Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Chris, give us an answer. But maybe he wants an answer to this question first. He said, please, we got to talk about the chickens and ducks. He said, please, we got to talk about the chickens. You have chickens and ducks, right?
Yes, we do.
How are they doing? How many do you have?
We have 70 adults, chickens, and 11 ducks. And we have 10 baby chickens that are about 3-4 weeks old.
Is it a lot of work keeping chickens?
No.
It's easy.
I think it is. Once you get the pen built and you get a secure pen, because now I think we've got it under control and no raccoons and bobcats can get in there at night. And we haven't seen them. So we put Christmas lights on our pen that blink at night.
Okay.
And we haven't seen a single critter on our game camera.
Do you think that kind of keeps them away?
Yes.
If there's something going on there and we don't want any part of it.
Right, and they don't like lights.
Okay.
Because then they can be seen. But that's still possums still go in there. And that's okay because they take care of snakes and rats and so things like that like to come in and eat the feed.
Yeah. That's a tip. Pro tip.
I think so. But our pens are pretty secure.
Yeah.
So
is there anything else you'd like to share while you're here today?
Nobody's asking any more questions about that, right?
No, not about the chickens.
I am having a cookie class to benefit Alzheimer's on Sunday at it's a Mardi Gras theme at Spring Creek Barbecue, but you need to go to Cookies for a Cause on Facebook and look at the events to see how to register for that.
Okay, and that's Spring Creek in League City at 646?
Yes.
Are y'all going to be in that room to the side?
Yes.
That's a big room.
But you got to register ahead of time.
Okay.
Because I have to know to have your cookies there.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
How long is the class?
2 hours. It's 3 to 5.
And do you teach them to make cookies like this?
I teach them to decorate. That one has the sugar sheet on it. We don't do that at the class.
Okay.
But they'll be learning to do Mardi Gras cookies, and if they go to my Facebook page, they'll see that as my my header right now, or some examples of my Mardi Gras cookies. And 100% of the money goes to end Alzheimer's.
Is there a favorite kind of cookie that you make? What's your favorite?
I make that one.
This is the one?
Yeah, other cookiers make a bunch of different flavors and stuff like that. And I don't have time for that because I'm busy doing other things as well. And so I just stick with one flavor and people like it.
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, they're Kevin Klein's favorite.
There you go.
Yeah.
So tonight I'm going to see you at the Santa Fe Education Foundation's 10-year celebration gala.
Yes, I'll be at the photo booth taking people's pictures and printing them out. And it's a little keepsake for the evening.
Yeah, and I believe it's at the Doyle Center in Texas City.
Yes, it is. Originally, it was scheduled at Nestler, but I'm thinking maybe they outgrew that.
Which is cool.
It's awesome.
Was it there last year?
It was at Nestler.
It was at the Nestler last year. I remember we gave away some tickets last year, and I believe it was Angie Butler with Legacy Collision in Hitchcock won those tickets.
Okay, so Angie Butler, when they opened, they got. She's also a chicken lady.
Yes, she is. Yes.
But they ordered a small square cookie with their logo on them.
I ate some of those. I remember.
Right, and so they were with new clients and insurance companies, and nothing like opening a door with cookies.
Me just walking in.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite places to go is Furniture Zone. They're in Dickinson.
Yes.
locally owned, operated. Stephanie Kovic, her and her family, they own that.
Right, and she's also really great for the community.
She is. She gives back so much.
Yes.
I almost brought up Mattress Mac earlier because I know that him and Kevin Klein, I saw some snowdrop stuff that went on there.
He did some running up there, yeah.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. But if we had to compare Stephanie to someone, she's Galveston County's Mattress Mac, and hopefully, continues to grow and stuff. But she gives back to people who in need, and she just has a big heart.
Right.
But, you walk in there, and there's like a whole snack section, drink section, like cookies and chips and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, Stephanie, just
stopping in for a snack.
Coming in and getting a snack.
Yeah.
All right. And you can also sign up to win a $500 gift card every month. They do a drawing. It's free.
Right. She's had it online too, where she's done the where you could sign up or comment and get that online. And I know I haven't bought any furniture, but I've told people to go there.
Definitely.
Because I haven't bought any furniture.
Yeah.
Because when I do, I'm going to go there. And I tell people, I said, she's good for the community, so you want to support that.
Yes. I bought a piece of furniture for my daughter's room. She just turned 3 years old, but we're transitioning some stuff because my wife and I were having a son. And March 11th is the date, so we'll see what happens. I'm being really strategic with how I book out stuff on the show.
Right.
And I tell people as it's close, I'm like, just so you know, my wife is pregnant March 11th, so that week before, I'm just saying,
right.
I don't know, things may change. Everyone's been understanding.
Well, they should.
So, I bought a piece of furniture from Furniture Zone. And then there's things that I haven't even bought. Like, there was a bed I bought, and I was telling Stephanie about some issues. Like, I was like, it's kind of making this weird thing. She's like, oh, I'll send some guys out. I was like, you're going to what?
Yeah.
Send some guys. So she sent some guys out, and they fixed it for me because it was kind of goofed up. But just because she's just nice, I'm like, thank you. Like, wow.
Yeah. Well, when I was doing cookies to raise money to train service dogs for Santa Fe high school kids, she made a very generous donation. One of my friends had made a wreath, and she was taking, basically we're getting bids for that. And Stephanie was the one that wrote the check.
Wow.
So, it was like, that's really just nice.
It is.
Yeah. Yes. And it was more generous than a lot of the other checks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a big heart.
Yes.
And a big pen at times, whenever the community needs her.
Yeah, yeah. But then, can't take advantage either.
Exactly. Even though I have a giant $1,000 check from Furniture Zone sitting in the corner over there.
There you go.
And it sits there. It's really cool. It's a big deal. That's how, like, these mics and stuff, from contribution from Furniture Zone and Stephanie Kovic.
Yeah, because this is different than the last.
It is, yes, it is. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I hope everybody registers and brings a friend or 6 or 10. We have a goal of at least 300 runners, walkers, crawlers this year.
Yes.
And again, if you come out there, you don't have to run or walk. If you decide you just want to stand there and bid on the silent auction items that are really awesome, you can do that. In fact, we have people that just come out for that.
Support the people who are running.
That's right.
Give
Or
them
they
water.
just come out, they want a T-shirt, so they're going to pay the registration fee. Because people ask, how much are the shirts if we don't want to walk? Same prices as they are if you do want to walk. Because that's how we're going to make the money for the charity. We don't make money by selling them at cost.
Okay.
And then you can come out and bid, and we have a really great volunteer base, but we can always use more volunteers. And on that same link, you can sign up as a volunteer. Because we always need, especially cleanup, because people like to just leave.
Yeah.
I've actually been out there by myself.
Cleaning up.
Yes, but now we've got that under control. We have people that stay. But it's nice if you sign up just to be a cleanup. It's a big help for us.
Yeah, if you want to help, there's a space for you.
And cleanup's easy. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just putting things away and packing them up.
There you go. Well, thank you for hanging out today.
And thank you so much for having me.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. Bye, Facebook. Hey, share this stream out. Let me know what you got going on today.